Welcome to the Flex Rental Solutions webinar. Today we're going to be talking about a new feature that will be released with our 4.9 release this week. We're calling it Enabled Warehouse Locations per User. Let's show you what this is. We'll go to my contact entry, and then we're going to go to the Terms/Notes tab. And now, in addition to having a home base that you can input for each user, you can check which locations are enabled for this user. So if they go to the location menu, they will only see the locations that are checked for them. And of course, this applies to the availability that you see when you're browsing inventory, depending on which location you're at, and what appears on the calendar. So to demonstrate this, let's uncheck a few of these locations for my username. And first I should mention that it's not possible to uncheck all of the locations. So if I uncheck this one, then it will reselect all of them. So it's just not possible to deselect every location. So for this example, let's deselect a couple of these. In fact, for this one, let's actually let's have 2 locations enabled for me. So for the changes to take effect, we have to log out and then log back in. Okay, so we've logged back in, and if we go back up to the locations menu, then we'll only see the 2 locations that were enabled. So let's go back to my contact entry, and this time let's only enable 1 location. So if we log out and then log back in, since there's only 1 location enabled, there shouldn't be the location selector menu. That just appears as blank now. So this is tied to a permission. The permission is, if we go to our security groups and we look at the administrator's permissions, the permission is called User Administrator. And by default, the only security group that this is enabled for is the administrators group. So if you have User Administrator enabled, then that means you'll be able to see the location enabled checklist. But for example, if we log in as the shop tech, they do not have User Administrator enabled. So if they go to even their own contact entry, they can still view all of the details. But since they are not a user administrator, they don't have the list of locations that can be enabled. So that way they can't go messing around with which locations that they are enabled for. That can only be done by a user administrator. So let's log out and then log back in with my username again. And the last thing that I want to show you is that this drop-down list of locations that you can check, enabled or disabled, is only available when you link a contact entry to a Flex user. So if I take this off, then the list of enabled locations will disappear. But if I relink to my Flex username, the enabled locations will come back. So what this means is that just the normal contacts, like your clients or vendors that you enter, will not have this enabled locations drop down. if they're not linked to a Flex username. If you have any questions about this new functionality, please email support@flexrentalsolutions.com.